last week we have seen list data types. Now in this session we will see the tuple and the set data type. Tuple is a sequence and set is a node sequence. So let us start with a tuple. What is a tuple? The definition of a tuple and list more or less is same, but there's a small changes, two changes to be very precise. First, so let me tell you the definition. So list is also a heterogeneous comma separated elements enclosed in round brackets. Tuple was the square brackets, it is round bracket. Okay, and tuple is immutable. We have seen in list that a particular element in a list, you can update it. You can update it to a new value, but in a tuple, it's not possible. It's purely immutable. It means once you defined a tuple, its elements, you try to update it, it will not happen, and it gives you the error. So now let us see how to create a tuple. I told you it's a round brackets and creates a empty tuple, a tuple data type. So that's how you can create a empty tuple. But if you would like to initialize the tuple, then you within that round brackets, you mention your element's name. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and hello. These are the elements I'm printing. And when I print, I will get the output as 1, 2, 3, and hello. And if I check the type of this thing, you see the type is tuple. Okay, so for clear. Now for a list, I mentioned there is a list keyword available. So last time I mentioned you that you can create a list using a list keyword, list method also. So if you create a list using a list method for a Vivek, this is what you get as an output. Same thing you can do it using the tuples. So there's a tuple method using which you can create a tuple, or there is a there's a second approach where you use a round brackets. Within that, you create different elements separated by comma. So far it's clear. Now to access element in the tuple, even tuple has indexes starting from 0 till n-1, n being the length of the string. And that's from the left to right, and from right to left, it starts from -1, -2, and so on. The same way we accessed any element in a list or in a string, the same way we access it here using the index. If I would like to access the data point at index 3, I use my tuple, square brackets, and the index I would like to access. Here, the index 3 has the value called hello. That's why I got hello as an output. If I would like to access the first 3 items of my tuple, same indexing approach, start end, where end is not included. I do 0 colon 3, but I mentioned you tuple is immutable. So at index 0, I have a value called 1, and when I try to update it, I get an error. Error says tuple object does not support item assignment. So that is the error I get here, which clearly support a statement that tuple is immutable. Then my question is, if your requirement is to update your tuple, then how do you do it? So now you created something tuple. Now you feel that you would like to update, say, an item at index 2, and that is mandated to do it, but tuple is immutable. Then how can we do that? Any thoughts? Any idea? Just give it a wild guess. That's fine. Because we have to start thinking. So that's why I'm asking the question. So please tell me, what could be the possible option you can think of? Ashita, Palaji, Lisbeth, Diksha, Satish, Ravichandra, Madhu. Any thought? Put in the chat if you want to. That's fine. Yeah, Madhu is typing something. Insert syntax. Okay, so Madhu says, I'm using an insert syntax. When I say I'm inserting something into a data type, it means I am mutating the data type, correct? And in the definition, I told you tuple is immutable. It means insert does not work. We will see if do we have an insert method for a tuple or not. It does not, but we will see that also in the list of all the methods available in a tuple. Yeah, Lisbeth is writing something. Yes, just give it a try. Anyways, I'm going to tell you, but I want you to think differently. Transform into, yeah, so Lisbeth says transform it into a list, then do the changes, and then again revert back to the tuple. Good thought. Good thought, Lisbeth. Others. Okay, so whatever Lisbeth said, that's correct. So we will transform it into a list. We do all the mutation we want in the list, and then we will convert back to the tuple. And to convert a tuple into list, simply you use the list method, and within that you pass the tuple. So when I converted it to list, I'm saving it to a LST variable, and when I'm checking the LST variable type, it's a list type, and these are the values it contains. Now I'm updating an item which is at index 0, 20. Now this is the new value I have in my list, and now I'm converting back my list into tuple. Converting, it's the same as a list. Only difference is to convert tuple into list, I use the list keyword, and now to convert list into tuple, I will use a list function or list method. And now if I see the value of tuple 1, it is updated with new value 20. Initially it was 1, and here if I try to do it again, I get the error. So it is clear that we have converted this list into tuple and assigned to tup1, and that contains the latest value, and it is giving us the even firm confirmation it's a tuple, because when I try to update it again, it's throwing us the error. So directly you cannot mutate a tuple. The only workaround you have is to convert it into a list, do your necessary changes, and then again transform back to a tuple. That's the only option you have if you would like to mutate a tuple. A mutation is good, very good. We understood. But now there is something called list unpacking, not this tuple unpacking. Okay, there's something called tuple unpacking. Okay, we will see what exactly it is. Let me print the value of a tuple. So it has 1, 2, 3, and hello. So at the left side of my equal to assignment operator, I have given 4 variables, A, B, C, D. And the right side of my assignment operator, I have my tuple. Now when I use this assignment, the first element of my tuple will be assigned to the A, second will be assigned to B, third will be assigned to C, and the fourth will be assigned to D. And when I execute it, I could see when I said print A, it has a 1, print B, it has a 2, print C, it has a 3, print D, it has a hello. And this is a part of tuple unpacking. Very good. What if I have many numbers, such as given here, like it's and these numbers, and many more numbers. Suppose I have 100 different elements in my tuple. So in that case, following this approach is not suitable, right? You have to write 100 different variables. That's fine, 100. What if you have 1,000 different elements in a tuple? Then you have to write 1,000 different variables. Cumbersome task, not possible. But in your tuple, suppose your requirement is in my tuple, I need first two data points or first two elements and last two elements to further process my logic, and anything in between that's not required for me to process my next set of logic. So for that thing, there is one workaround, and that is nothing but your asterisk symbol. So I'm doing A comma B, asterisk C, and E comma D. So what happens in this case? The first the first element will be assigned to A, the second element will be assigned to B, the second last element, which is 850, assigned to E, and the last element is assigned to D. And whatever you have in between, which is these items, will be assigned to C. And it will be assigned to C as a list. Let us see. Let us print it. And when I'm printing it, the print A contains Saket, print B contains Shah, print E contains 850, print D contains 100,000, and print C. If you look closely, the C contains the remaining elements of the tuple, but now it is stored as a list. Okay, and this whatever we have done here and here, it is called a tuple unpacking. You are unpacking the tuple and assigning those values to different variables. This is called tuple unpacking. So far it's clear, tuple unpacking. Let us move forward. Now let us see what are the different methods available in my tuple. I scroll down, I could see it has only two methods, count and index. So insert method is any method which mutates the tuple. Those methods are not available here. Count does not mutate, we have. Index does not mutate, we have. The pop mutates the existing data type. So we don't have a pop, we don't have an insert, we don't have a remove, we don't have it because it mutates the existing data type. And tuple is immutable, so you don't have it. Now here I'm doing the tup1 plus tup. Let me print what is a tup2 and a tup1 value. Tup2 is not defined. 1 minute. Let me define the tup2. Let me define it here itself. So let me say tup2 or a tuple2 is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, this is my tup2, this is my tup. So can someone tell me if I'm doing a tup1 plus tup2, what could be the possible output? Just recall the thing we have learned in list. What was the behavior we have seen when we applied plus operator on the tuple? Sorry, on the list. Yeah, Madhu, for tuple, it two error because it's immutable. You are absolutely correct. It's immutable. It has to give us the error. But if you remember, when I did list one plus list two, what exactly happened? It created the new object in the memory. But when I use the extend, what it did? What it did? It did update the existing. So when it's updating the existing list, now if I use the same method, if we have suppose method called extend in tuple, it means it is doing the changes in the existing tuple. It means it's mutating. But when you're using a plus operator, it is concatenating both the tuple and creating a new object. So it's creating a new object. It is not doing the changes in the existing one. It's not mutation. You're creating a new object in the memory. Okay, so Madhu, it will not give you the error. The basic difference is when you use a plus operator, it creates a new object. If you use the extend and append, it appends or does the changes in the existing one. Okay, when you're doing the changes in the existing one, it is a mutation which tuple does not allow. So when I do tup1 plus tup2, I get a concatenation of both, and it is a new object created in the memory. But you might, someone of you might ask the proof that it does created a new object. So let me do id of tup2 and then let me do id of tup, which give us the location, right? So these are the two memory locations where tup2 is saved and tup is saved. Now I am doing a tup1 plus tup2. Let me check the id of this thing also. Now it has a different id. So it's clear that when I'm concatenating these two using a plus operator, it is creating a new object of tuple, which is a concatenation of tup and tup. Okay, that's a reason you did not get the error. So we have seen the extend method does not exist in tuple because we have seen the list of the methods available. Now this particular piece of a code, tup plus tup2, can be we can write it as this thing. Where what exactly the equivalent code for this thing is, this is the equivalent code. What I'm doing, I'm concatenating both, creating a new object. Now I am changing the whatever address it is pointing to, I'm changing that address to point to the concatenation of tuple and tuple. In this case also, I don't get the error because I'm not mutating the existing tuple. I'm just changing the changing the location to which this variable is pointing. I'm just changing it to a different location. So that's a reason for this thing also you will not get the error. And by suppose you would like to use a append or extend, the only option we have, convert it to a list, do the necessary operations, extend, append, remove, for, then again convert back to the tuple, and that's how you can do it. Now we have seen these two methods as a list of the methods available in the tuple. So let us do index of Vivek. So when I do so, what it's giving us there, it's saying X not in tuple. So if I check tup, what values it contains, 1 minute. It was in Safari, it was giving a lot of issues, so I had to move it to the Chrome. So now I think it will not throw us the error. We were here. So if I print the what value the tuple contains, it contains these values. It does not contain the value or element called Vivek, and that's what the error is. X not in tuple. If I instead of hello, instead of Vivek, I do hello, it gives me the index of hello. And some of you might ask if I have a multiple times or if this hello keyword repeats in the tuple, then it returns the first occurrence of that, not all the occurrences. The same way we have seen in the tuple, sorry, list, the same way it gives the first occurrence of that. And now if I do tuple.count of the value 2, so let me say 9, because it has more than one occurrences, so it gave me the occurrence of that particular number. The same way these two we have already seen in list, the same way it behaves here. Only these are the two available methods in tuple. So let me move forward to the next data type, which is a set. So let us understand the definition of a set first. So set is a comma separated heterogeneous unique elements enclosed in curly braces. If you heard it properly, I said unique elements and then next enclosed in a curly braces. Why I said unique elements? Because the set does not allow the duplicates items, duplicate elements. If you have a value, say 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 3, something like this. So set removes all these duplicate items and only keeps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's a property of set. It does not allow you to keep duplicate items, and it enclosed in a curly brace. But when compared to list and tuple and a string, set has some difference. What is the difference? All these three, string, list, tuple, is ordered. And we have seen when something is ordered, it has indexes to it. But set is unordered. It means it does not have a indexes to it. We will see how to access when there is no index. Okay, but that's a major difference. That set is unordered. It means it does not have a sequence. But on the other hand, list tuple string has or is ordered. It means it has indexes. So first, let us see how to create an empty set. Now for a list, I said square brackets means you're creating the empty list. Round brackets means you're creating the empty tuple. So with that understanding, if I say the curly braces is nothing but the empty set, but that but that's not the case. Let us check it. Why I'm saying. So let me do type. Let me check the type of this thing. When I check the type of this open and close curly braces, it is showing as a dict, DICT, and it's nowhere close to the set. The set spelling star is SET, but here we say DICT. So you can't use a curly braces, open and close curly braces to create a set, empty set. You cannot. When you try to do so, it creates a different data type called dictionary. Okay, so remember this thing. If you try to create empty set, you can't use a curly braces and say it created an empty set. It does not. It creates the dictionary. Now, how to create a set then? So to create a set, you have a set keyword, sorry, set method, and it creates a empty set. So this is the only way you can create an empty set, because the curly braces you can't use it. It creates a different data type. But if I want to create a set, or if I would like to initialize my set, then you put a curly within the curly braces, you mention your values. And when you check its type, it says set. We will see later why it is allowing us, when I'm putting my elements within the curly braces, it is treating it as a set. But when I'm only using the empty curly braces without any items in it, it is treating it as a dictionary. We will see later when we get into a dictionary data type. But for a time being, this is what a set is. Now here, the way I did it for a list, when I did a list of my name, let me show a list of my name, then it created a list as an output where each element is one character from my name. Same way, if I do this thing, maths for data science, then I get a list where each element is one character from this particular string. If that's the case, then when I do a set of this thing, even this will give me a set where each item or each element is one character from this string. But here it keeps only the unique values. Okay, let us see. Here D is repeated twice and S is repeated twice. But in this entire set, you can see only D once and S once. But here, if you look closely, here you have a S which is in small case. But I could see that S here. But for a human like you and me, the capital S and small s is same. And when I say it does not allow duplicates, ideally it should allow only small s or capital S. Now there is a duplicate, but program does not work in that way. Capital S has a different ASCII code, small s has different ASCII code. So for computer, capital S is different from small s. That's why you could see a capital S and a small s. If I remove this small s, I replace the small s with capital S, and I check it, I could see only S existed only one time. Now, how to access data points in set? Because it does not have order. It means you don't have indexes to it. For that thing, you have one option to use the for loop. We will see this for loop when we get into control statements, but this is the for loop. What I'm saying for I in set and then printing I. So the first item of the I of the set will be assigned to I. It prints it, then it takes the second item, it prints it, and so on. Now let me scroll it. Yeah. Set one contains. Now here, look closely one thing. When I created set one, and when I print the set one, it gave me two TWO2, numeric 2, string 1, and the numeric 1. And here also got the more or less same order, right? But I told you the set is unordered. But here it seems that it follows the order, because when I printed it set for the first time, it has the same order. as here, sorry, above 2, TW2, and the numeric 2, 1, and numeric 1. But when I did for I, it has the same order. Does it have an order? It does not. How? See, when I'm again printing the set, now the order is different. Instead of a string 2, it's 1, 2, and 1, 2. So it is satisfying the part where we are saying it does not follow the order. We don't know which order it will follows, but it does not follow the it does not follow the order. It might happen you executed it 5 times, it is giving the same order, but seventh or eighth time it might give you different order. It totally depends. So it's very random when we talk about the order in set. So far we have understood the set, how to create it, it is unordered, etc. Now let us see a couple of operations we can do on the set. For that thing, I have created two different variables, lang1, lang2. Now I'm checking the ID of lang1. I will tell you why I'm checking the ID of lang1. Now I'm doing a lang1.update. Okay, lang1.update. It means I'm updating my language1 variable with lang2. And here, if I look closely, it has some common elements. C exist in both lang1 and lang2. So this is the only part which is a common. So let me do the update and print it. Let me print the lang1. So I get C, C sharp, C++, Java. Look closely, this duplicated one is removed from the set. It contains only the unique values. And if you look closely, initially when I did initialize the lang1, it contains only these values. Now, when I applied an update, what exactly it did? It did update the existing variable called lang1. Whatever the lang1 had, it updated it. So you are mutating the lang1. And that's why when I printed lang1, now I have the updated data. And when I check the lang1 address also, now you can see the address is same. Here I printed the ID1 before doing the update, and here I'm doing after the update. So it is giving us a clear intuition that the update is happening to the lang1 object. The next method is a union method, which does lang1 dot union lang2. So let me initialize the lang1 once, lang1 lang2, and let me go to the union. So lang1 dot lang2 union, you can closely uh, relate it with where you're concatenating both the data points, but you're removing the only the intersection part. Okay, how it might look. 1 minute. Let me draw it and show you. So just give me a couple of more seconds. I have to reshare my screen. You can think as if this is your set A, this is your set B. Okay. Now you are trying to find P of A union B. Okay. Now the union, what it does, it takes all the elements belongs to A, all the elements belongs to B, including the intersection, but it removes any repetitions we have. It removes the repetition. It removes the repetition. That's what the union does. Okay. So I believe that's clear. And when I'm doing a union, the left side, the changes is happening in the lang1. Now let us see the next method, which is a remove method. Now I'm doing a lang1.remove, and I'm trying to remove something which does not exist in my lang1. The lang1 does not have the language called Rust, but I try to remove it. So I'm getting an error, a key error. So now suppose I have a Java, let me try to remove the Java. So I did not get the error, and when I print the lang1, the particular word is removed. So the remove, when you try to remove something which does not exist in your set, you get an error. But what if I use a discard? You don't get an error. So discard is a method which does not throw you the error if that particular element does not exist in your set. So that's the difference between the remove and the discard. I hope that's clear. The next method is a pop method. So anyone remembers what does the pop method do in the data type list? Yes, Madhu? Okay, when you discard it, it's same as a remove. Okay, let me do now. Suppose we have this Python, right? Or Perl. Let me take a Perl, and I'm doing a discard Perl. Okay, it discarded it, and now when I print the lang1, the Perl is removed from it. So remove and discard does the same thing. Only difference between remove and discard is that remove throws the error if that particular element does not exist in the set, but discard does not throw the error. Yeah, I was talking about the next method called pop. So anyone remember how the pop worked in data type list? Anyone? So when we use the pop method in a list, it used to pop the last element, right? Last element of that list. But here if you apply the same logic here, that it pops the last element of a set, but set does not have an order. We have seen that example also where I printed set one twice, it gave me a different order. Then which element it pops? Because it cannot take the last element, because every time it does not have the same order. So here in this case, it randomly pops something. It randomly pops something. It might pop from the start, from the middle, from the end. It does not. So we are not sure from which location it pops, but it randomly pops. So now it popped Python, which is at the end. Now it popped C++, which is somewhere here. Now again I do a pop. It popped C sharp, which is here. So it randomly pops the item. So it does not follow any sequence. So far it's clear. When you do a pop, it randomly pops something out of the set. That's what pop does. Now let us go to the next method, which is clear. When you do a clear method, what exactly? Yeah. Uh, Suppose if you would like to select some random number, and so then you can think of a pop. Now suppose simply, let me do in this way. Suppose this set you have say a different values, and you would like to randomly pick one value. In that case, you can use a pop. Now next is clear. What does clear does? It wipes everything, every element from the set, and it make it as an empty set. Now when I did a clear, it is empty set now. Okay. Now let us move to the couple of different operations we can apply on the sets. Now here I am doing lang1 minus lang2. So lang1 minus lang2. When I'm doing a subtract, what exactly I'm getting? So let us see what does the lang1 contains. The lang1 contains C, C++, Java, Nanda, and Python. The lang2 contains C, C Sharp, Nanda, PHP, Perl. And when I did a lang1 minus lang2, I got a Python, C++, Java. So what it did? So from the lang1, it removed the common elements. The common elements which are common in the lang2. C and Nanda is a common in the lang2. So it removed these two items or elements, and it gave us the output Python, C++, Java as an output. Okay. When I'm doing a lang1 minus lang2. But when I do a lang2 minus lang1, when I do lang2 minus lang1, so it removes C and Ananda from lang2, and it gives us the output PHP, Perl, and C sharp. So what it means? It means whatever you have the set to the left of the minus symbol, from that particular set, it removes the common items from the right side of the minus symbol. So whatever the common element the right side set contains, those common elements will be removed from the set which is at the left side of the minus symbol. Clear? On to the next one, which is a difference update. So if I do a lang1 dot difference update lang2, and when I print a lang1, now it gives the same output. So when I do lang1 minus lang2, let me initialize it once more. Let me do lang1 minus lang2, which is giving us Python, C++, Java. When I'm doing a difference update, even this is giving me the same output. But then what's the difference between the both? Difference update and the minus symbol. The difference is when I do lang1 minus lang2, after doing that lang1 minus lang2, it created a new set or the new object type set in the memory. But when you do difference update, what it does the update in the existing set, which is a lang1, because you're doing lang1 dot. So whatever you have to the left of your difference update, that particular set will be updated accordingly. And that's why when I'm printing a lang1 here, it contains Python, C++, Java. Clear? Now let me initialize it again. So we have seen minus, we have seen difference update, we have a difference also. When I do difference lang1 minus lang2, it gives you C++, Java, Python. The same output which this gives, the same output which this gives. But in this case, when I print lang1, it did not update the lang1. It kept the lang1 as is, but it created the new object which contains C++, Java, and Python. So with this observation, we can say difference and a minus both is giving you the same output, or the output is returning a new set object. The difference, there is one difference in the update. What does update do? It updates the existing set, but the minus or a difference does not. So Henceforward, wherever for this set you see underscore update, we need to understand or keep this thing in mind that whatever you have left side of this dot, that particular set is updated or will get updated if you have a underscore update to any of the methods in any of the set methods. If you don't have update underscore update, it means it creates a new object and it does not impact the existing set object. Is it clear? Now there is a next method which is intersection. We are doing a lang1, lang2 intersection. So what it's doing, so it is trying to find this portion, the portion which I'm highlighting now with the red, right? This portion it's trying to find it out, the intersection between the both the sets. So when I do intersection lang1 dot lang1 dot intersection lang2, so it is giving me the common one, which is CN Nanda. Okay. For this thing also, we do have, let me put the list of all the methods we have in the list, in the set, my bad. So now you have intersection update, what it does, it updates the set. Now you have a symmetric difference update. We will see these also in a while. We have seen union, we have seen update. We did not see add clear. We will see a couple of those things, but not all. Okay. You see, wherever for intersection also we have intersection of underscore update. I'm not using that one, but it's clear that when I use underscore update, it will update the leftmost set. So this intersection, which is used using a method, same thing you can achieve using the ampersand symbol or an and symbol. Both gives you the same results. The way we have seen the -1, minus and a difference, same way the intersection and ampersand both gives you the same output. Then there is a pipe operator. What is this pipe doing? So if I print lang1 and lang2, we see all the items of lang1 and lang2 are concatenated together, okay, removing the and kept only the unique values. It's more or less kind of a union B, where you take both the data points and you remove the common data points. Only remove the common, not remove the common data points, you keep only the unique data points, which makes the total A plus B. Okay, that's what the pipe operator means. If that's so, then we know a formula in set theory which says P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection P of B. So you can write that formula using these symbols also, or you can use the methods also. That the intersection method to do that, or the difference method to do that. So when I did lang1 pipe operator lang2, it gave me this output, the entire output. Now I'm saying from that remove the common one, which is a C and Nanda. So this is the output we got. So if you see carefully, we could able to use the sets formula. Okay, when I'm saying set now, I'm talking about the mathematics sets, set theory. That formula you can apply it here. Now, if that's the case, now let us see the next one, which is the symmetric difference. What does the symmetric difference does? So I'm saying lang1 dot symmetric difference. Now let me print lang1. So the lang1 contains C, C++, Java, Nanda, Python, and lang2 contains C, C Sharp, Nanda, PHP, and Perl. I'm doing lang1 dot symmetric difference. So what output I'm getting? I'm getting C++, Java, Nanda, Python. So how many elements I'm getting? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got all the data points from the lang1. And when I do lang1 dot underscore update, what it does, it updates the lang1. The intersection we have seen, this is also we've seen. And the same method which we have seen, the lang1 pipe operator lang2 minus lang1 ampersand lang2, same thing you can achieve using the intersection point also I mentioned. So I'm using intersection, I will get the same output which I've got earlier, where I'm removing the intersection part, which is C and Nanda, which is removed. Now, let us see a couple of more methods, 1, 2 more methods, which will give us some understanding. So let us see the add method. The add method we did not see. Let me do the lang1 dot add. Let me say I'm adding 100. What it did, let me print lang1 now. Lang1 added that particular item in my set. And now you can see it is showing as the first element in my set. It happens because it does not contain the order. That's the reason you see in this way. And let us pick the intersection difference of rate copy. Copy. Now, can anyone tell me the difference between the copy? Or if I do this directly, I will give you a hint and then you can check it. So let me do something like this. Line 1. Let me show you the address of line 1. This is the address. And when I do z equal to line 1, and when I print ID of z, what it does? It both has the same address. So remember, in that list, I mentioned the difference between when you use a simple assignment operator and when you use dot copy. The same logic applies here. When I do a dot copy and checks its address is different. So I'm not going deep into that, but please tell me if you remember, then I will not explain the concept again. If not, then I will explain it. What does frozen set does? It means whatever set you have created now, it is immutable. You cannot mutate it. That is what a frozen set is. If you check the dir of frozen set, different methods it has these different methods. Frozen set, you can treat or think it as a tuple where you can't mutate it. It is frozen. Once made, that is made. You cannot do the append the way we use the append, right, etc. So how I am saying so? First thing, yes, it is behaving that way. And second, if you look closely, it says difference, intersection, symmetric difference. None of these methods is saying difference underscore update, because update updates the existing one. Now, this does not have a dot append, a dot add also method. The reason is the frozen set is a frozen, and you can think the frozen set as a tuple, which is immutable. Clear so far?